A blind date gone wrong. Rachel Morrison stared at her reflection in the bathroom mirror and sighed deeply. The dress she borrowed from her cousin felt too tight around her waist, and the heels were already making her feet ache. She glanced at her phone for the 10th time in 5 minutes. "Mom, you look pretty," Tyler said from the doorway, holding his favorite superhero action figure. Rachel turned and smiled at her son. "Thank you, baby. Are you sure you'll be okay with Aunt Jennifer tonight?" "Yes. She promised we'd make popcorn and watch the superhero movie." Tyler bounced excitedly. Her cousin Jennifer appeared behind Tyler, grinning mischievously. "Go on, Rachel. You need this. When was the last time you went out?" "I go out all the time," Rachel protested weakly. "Grocery shopping doesn't count," Jennifer laughed. "Look, I know I signed up for that dating app without telling you, but this guy seems perfect. Rich, successful, and looking for something real." Rachel grabbed her small purse. "You know, I'm only doing this to scare him off, right? The plan is to be myself, completely and totally myself, until he runs away." "Whatever you say," Jennifer winked. "But take Tyler with you. Nothing says run away like bringing your kid on a first date." The restaurant disaster. The restaurant was called Le Petit Chateau, and it looked exactly like the kind of place where Rachel would accidentally use the wrong fork. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling. Soft piano music filled the air, and every person inside looked like they stepped out of a fashion magazine. "Mom, why does everyone dress like they're going to a wedding?" Tyler whispered loudly. "Indoor voice, sweetie," Rachel reminded him gently. They approached the hostess stand, and Rachel gave the name Jennifer had provided. The hostess looked at her clipboard, then at Tyler, then back at Rachel with barely concealed surprise. "Right this way, please." As they walked through the restaurant, Rachel felt every eye on them. Tyler was wearing his best outfit, which included light-up sneakers that blinked with every step. She was seriously considering turning around and leaving when it happened. Her heel caught on the edge of a rug. Rachel stumbled forward, arms flailing. A waiter carrying a tray of drinks tried to steady her, but ended up losing his balance. The entire tray of red wine flew through the air in slow motion and landed squarely on a man sitting at a nearby table. "Oh no, oh no, oh no," Rachel gasped, rushing toward the victim. The man stood up slowly, wine dripping from his expensive suit jacket. He was tall, maybe 6'2", with dark hair and striking blue eyes. His jaw was clenched, but he didn't yell or curse. "I'm so sorry." Rachel grabbed napkins from a nearby table and tried to dab at his suit. "I'll pay for the cleaning, I promise." "Well, maybe in installments, but I'll definitely pay." Breaking the ice. The man looked at her with an unreadable expression. "It's fine. Accidents happen. Mom almost broke her ankle last week tripping over my toys," Tyler offered helpfully. "She's kind of clumsy." Rachel wanted to disappear into the floor. "Tyler, please." But something unexpected happened. The corner of the man's mouth twitched. Not quite a smile, but close. "Is this your son?" he asked. "Yes, this is Tyler. And I'm Rachel, but you probably figured that out from the disaster I just caused." The hostess appeared, flustered. "Mr. Blake, I'm so sorry. We'll cover all cleaning costs, of course." "Mr. Blake." Rachel's brain suddenly connected the dots. This was her blind date, the man she just drenched in wine. "You're Jameson Blake," she said slowly. "And you're not Jennifer Wilson," he replied, gesturing to the empty chair across from him. "But since you're already here, would you like to sit down? Both of you." Tyler climbed into the chair before Rachel could protest. "Can I order the biggest dessert? Mom says life's too short for small desserts." Jameson sat down, still in his wine-soaked jacket. "Your mother sounds wise. Getting to know each other." A waiter brought Jameson a clean jacket from somewhere in the restaurant, and they ordered food. Tyler kept up a steady stream of conversation, asking Jameson questions that ranged from, "Do you have any pets?" to "Why do rich people have so many forks?" Rachel tried to intervene several times, but Jameson seemed genuinely amused by Tyler's curiosity. "So, let me guess," Jameson said, after Tyler excused himself to go to the bathroom with a restaurant staff member. "Jennifer is your cousin, and she signed up for the dating site without telling you." Rachel blushed. "How did you know?" "Because you've been apologizing nonstop for an hour, and you keep looking at the door like you're planning an escape route." I wasn't planning to escape, Rachel lied. Yes, you were. And honestly, I don't blame you. These things are usually terrible. Usually? Rachel raised an eyebrow. How many blind dates have you been on? Jameson counted on his fingers. This is number 12. 12? Why so many? My mother is determined to see me married before I turn 35. She keeps setting me up with women she thinks are appropriate. Rachel laughed. And what makes someone appropriate? Rich family, prestigious education, interest in charity work, perfect table manners. He paused. Everything you're not, apparently. Is that an insult? No, Jameson said, and this time he definitely smiled. It's a compliment. You're the first person who's treated me like a regular human being instead of a bank account. The truth comes out. Tyler returned, bouncing with energy. Mom, they have a dessert that's on fire. Can we order it? Maybe next time, sweetie. There'll be a next time? Jameson asked. Rachel looked at him carefully. I should probably be honest with you. I came here tonight to make sure you'd never want to see me again. I'm a single mom. I work 3 different jobs. I live in a tiny apartment that probably costs less than your monthly dry cleaning bill. I have no interest in fancy restaurants or society parties. And I definitely don't know which fork to use for salad. The outside one, Jameson said automatically. Then he leaned forward. Rachel, can I be honest with you too? Please. This is the best date I've had in years. Maybe ever. You're funny, you're real, and your son just asked me if I've ever built a blanket fort. Nobody has ever asked me that. Have you? Tyler interrupted. No, but I'd like to learn. Rachel felt something shift in her chest. This wasn't supposed to happen. She was supposed to scare him away, not start falling for him. I should also mention, she added carefully, that I looked you up online before coming here. I know you're the CEO of Blake Industries. I know you're worth millions. And I know that someone like me doesn't belong in your world. Jameson was quiet for a moment. What if I told you that I don't care about any of that? I'd say you're either lying or crazy. Maybe a little of both, he admitted. But I'd like to see you again. Both of you. Tyler grabbed Jameson's hand. Does that mean you'll teach me to build a fort? Jameson looked at Rachel, then at Tyler, and smiled. Absolutely. As they left the restaurant that night, Rachel couldn't shake the feeling that her carefully controlled life was about to change in ways she never expected. And for the first time in years, she wasn't entirely sure that was a bad thing. A new beginning 3 days after the restaurant incident. Rachel's phone rang while she was folding laundry in her cramped apartment. The number was unfamiliar. Hello, Rachel, it's Jameson Blake. I hope I'm not calling at a bad time. Rachel nearly dropped the phone. She hadn't really expected to hear from him again, despite what he'd said at the restaurant. No, it's fine. I'm just doing some laundry. Very glamorous stuff. I have a proposition for you, Jameson said, his tone suddenly businesslike. My company hosts an annual charity event for underprivileged children. This year, I want to do something different, something more personal and engaging. I need someone creative who understands what kids actually want. Would you be interested in helping me organize it? Rachel sat down on her worn couch. Are you offering me a job? A temporary position, yes. It will be full-time for the next 2 months, with competitive pay. And there's something else. What? I have an empty apartment in a safe neighborhood. 2 bedrooms, fully furnished. It's been sitting vacant for almost a year. You and Tyler could stay there while you work on the project. No rent, just utilities. Rachel's first instinct was to say no. It felt too much like charity, too much like accepting handouts. Jameson, I can't just take your apartment. Why not? It's empty. You need a better place for Tyler. And honestly, I could use your help with this event. My last 3 charity galas were so boring that people donated money just to leave early. Despite herself, Rachel laughed. That bad. Worse. So what do you say? It's a fair trade. Your creativity and hard work for temporary housing and a paycheck. Rachel thought about the leak in her bathroom ceiling, about Tyler's complaints that his room was always cold, about the noise from the upstairs neighbors that kept them awake at night. Okay, she said finally, but I pay the utilities, and if this gets weird, I'm out. Deal. Moving in the apartment Jameson provided was in a neighborhood Rachel had only seen in movies. Tree-lined streets, doormen in uniforms, and a lobby with actual marble floors. Mom, is this a hotel? Tyler asked. eyes wide with wonder. No, baby. This is where we're staying for a little while. The apartment itself was beautiful. 2 large bedrooms, a modern kitchen, huge windows that let in natural light. Tyler ran from room to room, declaring each space the best ever. That evening, as Rachel was unpacking boxes, the doorbell rang. Jameson stood in the hallway holding grocery bags. "I thought you might need some supplies," he said. "Just basic stuff to get started." Rachel peeked into the bags. They were filled with expensive organic foods, fancy cheeses, and brands she'd only seen in commercials. "Jameson, this is too much." "It's groceries, Rachel. Everyone needs groceries. Normal people buy store-brand cereal and day-old bread. Well, today you're getting the good stuff. May I come in?" Rachel stepped aside, and Jameson entered carrying the bags. Tyler appeared from his new bedroom wearing a superhero cape. "Mr. Blake, want to see my new room? It's huge. I'd love to." Rachel watched as Jameson followed her son down the hallway, listening patiently as Tyler showed him every corner of the space. There was something gentle about the way Jameson interacted with Tyler, something that made Rachel's heart do strange things. Daily routines. Over the next 2 weeks, a routine developed. Rachel would drop Tyler at school, then head to Blake Industries to work on the charity event. Jameson had given her a small office next to his, and they spent hours brainstorming ideas. What if instead of formal dinner, we create an interactive fair? Rachel suggested one afternoon. Different stations where kids can show what they've learned. Art, science, music. Let the donors actually engage with the children they're helping. Jameson looked up from his laptop. "That's brilliant. Why didn't any of my previous event planners think of that?" "Because they were probably too focused on impressing you to think about the actual cause." "You're not worried about impressing me?" Rachel grinned. "Should I be? Definitely not. I like you exactly as you are." The comment hung in the air between them, loaded with meaning neither was quite ready to address. Evenings became Rachel's favorite time. Jameson started showing up at the apartment around dinner, always with some excuse about needing to discuss event details. But they rarely talked about work. Instead, they cooked together while Tyler did homework at the kitchen table. "You're a terrible cook," Rachel teased one night as Jameson nearly burned the pasta. "I've had personal chefs my entire life. This is new territory for me." "Well, lesson 1, watch the stove. Lesson 2, stop checking your phone every 5 minutes." Jameson put his phone away. Better, much better. The Blanket Fort one rainy Saturday, Jameson arrived at the apartment wearing jeans and a casual shirt. Rachel had never seen him in anything but business suits. "I'm here to fulfill a promise," he announced. Tyler looked up from his coloring book. "What promise?" "I said I'd learn how to build a blanket fort. Today's the day." For the next 2 hours, the living room transformed into an elaborate fortress. They used couch cushions, dining chairs, bed sheets, and every blanket they could find. Tyler directed the construction like a tiny architect, while Jameson followed orders with surprising dedication. "No, Mr. Blake, that sheet goes on top, not the side." "Sorry, boss." "Like this." "Better." Rachel watched from the kitchen, coffee mug in hand, heart swelling with emotion. When was the last time Tyler had a positive male role model in his life? When was the last time someone made him laugh this hard? When the fort was complete, all 3 of them crawled inside. They sat in the dim light filtered through the sheets, eating popcorn and telling stories. "This is the best fort ever," Tyler declared. "Can we keep it up forever?" "I don't know about forever," Rachel said, "but we can keep it for a few days." Tyler turned to Jameson. "Do you have a dad?" The question caught everyone off guard. Jameson's expression shifted, becoming more vulnerable than Rachel had ever seen. "I did," he said quietly. "He died when I was about your age." "That's sad. Did it make you cry?" "Yes, it did. I never had a dad," Tyler said matter-of-factly. "But I think I'd like one. Someone nice who builds forts and doesn't yell." Rachel felt tears prick her eyes. "Tyler, sweetheart, that's not really how it works." "Why not? Can we just pick someone?" Jameson looked at Rachel, and in that moment, something unspoken passed between them. Something that felt a lot like possibility. Nicole's appearance, everything changed the following Tuesday. Rachel was at the office reviewing vendor contracts when a stunning blonde woman in designer clothes walked past her door, stopped, and backed up. "You must be the new event planner," the woman said, her tone dripping with false sweetness. "Rachel Morrison, can I help you? I'm Nicole Grant. Jameson and I have known each other for years. We actually dated for quite a while." Rachel felt her stomach drop, but kept her expression neutral. "Nice to meet you." Nicole stepped into the office uninvited. "I heard Jameson hired someone unconventional for this year's event. I have to say, you're not what I expected." "What did you expect?" "Someone more professional, I suppose. But then again, Jameson has always had a soft spot for charity cases." The insult was barely veiled. Rachel stood up, meeting Nicole's eyes directly. "I was hired because I'm good at what I do, not because I need charity." "Of course." Nicole smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "I'm sure that's what you tell yourself. Just a friendly warning, though. Jameson gets bored easily. He likes the idea of helping people, but once the novelty wears off, he moves on. Don't get too comfortable." With that, Nicole left, her expensive perfume lingering in the air. Rachel sat back down, hands shaking slightly. She told herself Nicole was just jealous, just trying to cause trouble. But doubt had planted itself in her mind. The investigation, what Rachel didn't know, was that Nicole had immediately hired a private investigator. Within days, Nicole had gathered information about Rachel's past, her struggles, her previous relationships. The following week, Nicole requested a meeting with Jameson under the pretense of discussing a business investment. Instead, she arrived with a folder full of documents. "Jameson, darling, I'm only telling you this because I care about you," Nicole began, sliding the folder across his desk. "I had some concerns about your new employee, so I did some checking." Jameson frowned. "You investigated Rachel? For your protection. Did you know she looked you up online before your date? She knew exactly who you were and how much you're worth. So, anyone with common sense would do research before meeting a stranger." Nicole pulled out more papers. "And what about her ex-boyfriend, Thomas Wright? Wealthy businessman, lasted 6 months before she ended things because he wanted her to sign a prenup. That shows she has standards and self-respect. Or that she was looking for a better target," Nicole countered. "Jameson, I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm just saying you should be careful. Single mothers with struggling finances sometimes see wealthy men as solutions to their problems." The confrontation that evening, when Jameson arrived at the apartment, his demeanor was different. Cooler, more distant. "Rachel, can we talk?" "Alone." Tyler was already in his room, so Rachel led Jameson to the kitchen. "What's wrong?" she asked. "Did you look me up online before our date?" Rachel's heart sank. "Yes, I did. I told you that at the restaurant, remember? Right? And what about Thomas Wright? How do you know about Thomas?" Rachel felt anger rising. "Did you investigate me?" Nicole did. "Nicole? Your ex-girlfriend, Nicole? The one who insulted me in my office." Jameson ran his hands through his hair. "She showed me some information that raised questions." "What kind of questions, Jameson?" "Whether I'm using you for money. Whether I'm some kind of gold digger who brought my son along to manipulate you." "I didn't say that. But you're thinking it." Rachel's voice broke. "You're wondering if everything between us has been fake. I just need to understand your relationship with Thomas." Rachel laughed bitterly. "Fine. Thomas was a businessman I dated 2 years ago. He was kind of Tyler. And yes, he had money. We broke up because he wanted me to quit working and be completely dependent on him. He wanted control, not partnership. I chose independence over financial security. Does that answer your question?" "Rachel, I'm just trying to protect myself." "From what?" "From someone who actually cares about you. From someone who sees you as a person, not a paycheck." Rachel grabbed her purse. "You know what? Maybe Nicole's right. Maybe you do get bored of your charity cases. That's not fair." "Fair? You want to talk about fair, Jameson? I open up to you. I'll let you into my life, into Tyler's life. And at the first sign of trouble, you believe some jealous ex over me." Tyler appeared in the doorway, rubbing his eyes. "Mom, why are you shouting?" Rachel immediately softened her voice. "I'm sorry, baby. Everything's fine." But Tyler looked at Jameson with confused, hurt eyes. "Are you leaving like the others?" "Tyler," Jameson started. "Everyone always leaves," Tyler said simply. Mom said you were different, but I guess she was wrong. The words hit Jameson like a physical blow. He looked at Rachel, at Tyler, and saw the damage his doubt had caused. I should go, he said quietly. Yes, Rachel agreed. You should. The departure after Jameson left. Rachel held Tyler while he cried himself to sleep. She waited until she was sure he was deeply asleep before she started packing their things. They couldn't stay in this apartment anymore. It hurt too much to be why midnight everything was packed. Rachel called her cousin Jennifer. Can Tyler and I stay with you for a while? Of course. What happened? I'll tell you later. Can you come get us in the morning? I'll be there at 8. Rachel didn't sleep that night. She sat in the living room, looking at the blanket fort they hadn't taken down yet, and cried. Meanwhile, across town, Jameson sat in his penthouse, staring at his phone. He tried calling Rachel 5 times, but every call went to voicemail. His mother's words from years ago echoed in his mind. You inherited your father's intelligence, but also his fear of being hurt. He picked up the folder Nicole had given him and threw it in the trash. What had he done? The truth revealed. Jameson barely slept. At 6 in the morning, he was already at his mother's house, something he rarely did without calling first. Patricia Blake answered the door in her bathrobe, looking surprised. Jameson? What's wrong? I messed up, Mom. Really badly. Over coffee, Jameson explained everything. His mother listened without interrupting, her expression growing more disappointed by the minute. Let me make sure I understand, Patricia said when he finished. You met a wonderful woman who made you laugh for the first time in years. She has a beautiful son who adores you. She's been nothing but honest and real with you. And you threw it all away because Nicole planted seeds of doubt. When you say it like that, it sounds even worse. That's because it is worse. Patricia set down her coffee cup firmly. Jameson, Nicole has been trying to get back together with you for 2 years. Of course, she'd try to sabotage any relationship you start. I know that now. Do you? Because it seems like you let your fear of being hurt control you again. Jameson buried his face in his hands. I don't know how to fix this. Well, sitting here feeling sorry for yourself won't help. You need to fight for her. Before Jameson could respond, the doorbell rang. Patricia went to answer it and returned moments later with a nervous-looking man. Mom, who is this? This is David Chun, the private investigator Nicole hired. He called me this morning. He has something to tell you. David cleared his throat. Mr. Blake, I'm here because I can't keep quiet about this anymore. Nicole Grant paid me to investigate Rachel Morrison, but she also paid me to exaggerate and fabricate parts of my findings. Jameson stood up slowly. What do you mean, fabricate? The information about Rachel looking you up online was true. The information about her relationship with Thomas, Wright, was true. But Nicole asked me to imply patterns that didn't exist to suggest Rachel was a serial gold digger, which she absolutely is not. David pulled out his own folder. Here's my actual, complete report. Rachel Morrison has worked multiple jobs to avoid accepting government assistance. She refused money from Thomas Wright when they broke up, even though he offered. She's never taken anyone to court for child support. She's exactly what she appears to be, a hardworking mother trying to provide for her son. Jameson felt sick. Why are you telling me this now? Because I have a daughter Tyler's age. Last night, I couldn't sleep thinking about what my dishonesty might have cost that little boy. He deserves better. They both do. Patricia looked at her son. So, what are you going to do about it? The search. Jameson rushed to the apartment, but when he arrived, it was empty. All of Rachel's belongings were gone. Tyler's toys were gone. Even the blanket fort had been dismantled. He called her phone. Voicemail. He called again. Voicemail. 15 more attempts. All voicemail. Jameson drove to Jennifer's apartment, the cousin who had set up the original blind date. Jennifer answered the door with her arms crossed. She doesn't want to talk to you, Jennifer said flatly. I know I don't deserve it, but please, I need to see her. I need to explain. Explain what? That you believe some jealous ex over Rachel? That you hurt Tyler, who is finally starting to trust someone? I know. I was an idiot. A scared, stupid idiot. But I love them, Jennifer. I love both of them. I need to make this right. Jennifer studied him for a long moment. They're not here anyway. Rachel took Tyler and left town this morning. Jameson's heart sank. Where did they go? She didn't say, just that she needed to get away from Boston, away from painful memories. Finding her, Jameson spent the next 3 days tracking down leads. He called Rachel's former landlords, her previous employers, anyone who might know where she'd gone. Finally, he remembered Rachel mentioning that she used to do children's party entertainment in smaller towns. He hired a research team to check entertainment companies in every town within a 3-hour radius. On the 4th day, he got a hit. A children's entertainment service in Brookfield had just hired a new princess character. Jameson got in his car and drove straight there. Brookfield was a small town with charming main street shops and friendly residents. Jameson found the entertainment company's office and learned that Rachel was currently working at a birthday party just a few blocks away. When he arrived at the house, he could hear children's laughter coming from the backyard. He walked around to the side gate and saw her. Rachel was dressed as a fairy princess, complete with wings and a sparkly wand, entertaining about 15 children. She was smiling, but Jameson could see it didn't reach her eyes. She looked tired, sad. He couldn't just walk in and interrupt. He needed a plan, something that would show her he was serious, that he'd changed. Jameson pulled out his phone and made several calls. Then he drove to the local costume shop. The grand gesture. 20 minutes later, Jameson returned to the party wearing a full prince costume, complete with a velvet cape and plastic crown. He felt ridiculous, but that was exactly the point. He walked into the backyard, and several children immediately noticed him. "Look, a prince!" one little girl shouted. Rachel turned around and froze when she saw him. "Good afternoon, fair citizens," Jameson announced in a dramatically formal voice. "I am Prince Jameson, and I've traveled from a far-off kingdom to find the beautiful Princess Rachel." The children giggled with delight, thinking it was all part of the show. Rachel's expression was unreadable. Jameson walked toward her, his ridiculous costume making children laugh with every step. When he reached Rachel, he knelt down on one knee. "Princess Rachel," he said, still using his theatrical voice but with genuine emotion underneath. "I have come to apologize for being the biggest fool in all the kingdoms." "Jameson, what are you doing?" Rachel whispered, "Proving that I'll do anything to make this right, even wear tights in public." Despite herself, Rachel's lips twitched with the hint of a smile. "Children," Jameson addressed the crowd, "can you help me? I need to ask Princess Rachel 3 important questions, and I need you to cheer really loud if you think she should forgive me." "Deal, deal," the children shouted. Question 1. If a prince makes a terrible mistake because he's scared of being hurt, should he be forgiven if he's truly sorry? "Yes," the children cheered. Question 2. If a prince loves a princess and her son more than anything in the world, should he get a second chance? "Yes," even louder this time. Question 3. If a prince promises to spend every single day proving he's worthy of a princess's love, should she give him that chance? "Yes, yes, yes." The children were jumping up and down now. Jameson looked up at Rachel, and this time he dropped the theatrical voice. "Rachel, I was wrong. Nicole fabricated evidence. The investigator came forward and told me the truth. But even before that, I should have trusted you. I should have believed in what we had instead of letting fear control me." Rachel's eyes filled with tears. "You hurt Tyler. He cried himself to sleep asking why you left. I know, and I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to him if you'll let me." "Where is he?" "With Jennifer. I thought it would be better if he stayed away from parties for a while. Too many happy families, too many dads." Jameson stood up. "Rachel, I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I'm asking anyway. Not just for me, but for Tyler. He wrote me a letter." Jameson pulled a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket. It was the drawing Tyler had left on the pillow, the one showing the 3 of them holding hands. "He left this when you moved out. It's been in my wallet every day since. Every time I look at it, I remember what I almost lost." Rachel took the drawing with shaking hands. "Jameson, I can't go through this again. Tyler can't go through this again. If I let you back in and you leave, it will destroy him. Then I'll sign something. A contract, a legal document, anything that proves my commitment. No prenups protecting my money. Just a guarantee that I'm in this for life." "That's insane." "Maybe, but that's how sure I am." One of the children tugged on Rachel's dress. Princess Rachel, are you going to forgive the prince? Because he seems really sorry. Rachel looked at the hopeful faces around her, then back at Jameson in his ridiculous costume, and something inside her softened. You're wearing tights, she said. I'm wearing tights, he confirmed. In public. Very much in public. There's a video circulating online already. Rachel laughed through her tears. You're an idiot. A very sorry idiot who loves you. The reunion. Rachel told the party's parents she needed a 15-minute break, and she and Jameson walked to a quiet corner of the yard. Tell me everything, she said. Jameson explained about David Chen's confession, about Nicole's manipulation, about how he'd thrown away the fabricated evidence and spent 4 days searching for Rachel. I talked to my therapist, Jameson admitted, something I should have done years ago. She helped me understand that I've been protecting myself from loss ever since my father died. I kept people at a distance because I was terrified of being hurt again. And now I realize that being alone hurts more than risking love. Rachel, you and Tyler showed me what real happiness feels like. Yes, loving you means I could get hurt, but not loving you means I'm guaranteed to be miserable. Rachel wiped her eyes. Where do we go from here? Home, Jameson said simply. Back to Boston. Back to the apartment or anywhere you want. I bought a house, actually, with a big backyard for Tyler and enough space for a permanent blanket fort. But only if you want that. If you need more time, I'll wait. If you need space, I'll give it. Whatever you need, I'm here. You bought a house? 3 bedrooms, big kitchen, near a good school. I might have gotten ahead of myself, but I was hopeful. Rachel shook her head in disbelief. This is crazy. The best things usually are. I need to see Tyler's reaction before I make any decisions. If he doesn't want to see you, then we need to take this slowly. Fair enough. When can I see him? He's at Jennifer's. We could go now if you want. Tyler's wish. The drive back to Boston was quiet but not uncomfortable. Rachel called Jennifer to warn her they were coming, and when they arrived, Tyler was waiting on the front steps. The moment Tyler saw Jameson get out of the car, still wearing the prince costume, the little boy's face transformed. Pure joy replaced the sadness that had been there for days. You came back. Tyler ran toward Jameson at full speed. Jameson knelt down and caught him in a tight hug. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry I left. Are you staying this time? For real staying. If your mom says yes, I'm never leaving again. Tyler pulled back and looked at Jameson seriously. Do you promise? Because I don't want another almost dad. I want a real one. Jameson felt tears in his eyes. I promise, Tyler. I love you and your mom, and I want to be your real dad. Not your almost dad. Not your someday dad. Your actual, official, forever dad. Tyler hugged him again, and this time both of them were crying. Rachel watched from a few feet away, her own tears falling freely. Jennifer stood beside her. He really does love them, Jennifer whispered. I know, Rachel replied. Jameson looked up at Rachel. There's one more thing I need to do properly. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. Still kneeling, holding Tyler with one arm, he opened it to reveal a simple but beautiful ring. Rachel Morrison, I know this started unconventionally. I know I messed up badly, but I also know that I've never been more certain about anything in my life. Will you marry me? Will you let me be Tyler's dad and your partner for the rest of our lives? Tyler bounced excitedly. Say yes, Mom. Please say yes. Rachel walked over to them and knelt down, so she was at eye level with both of them. Yes, she said, smiling through her tears. On one condition. Anything, Jameson said. You have to promise that when things get hard, because they will, you'll talk to me instead of running away. Promise you'll trust what we have. I promise. And you have to promise to teach Tyler how to build even better blanket forts. That's a given. Rachel held out her hand, and Jameson slipped the ring onto her finger. Tyler cheered, Jennifer cried, and somewhere in that moment, 3 broken pieces became one whole family. A new beginning. 6 months later, the charity event Rachel had planned was a massive success. Children from the program's Blake Industries supported showed off their artwork, science projects, and musical talents. Donors didn't just write checks. They played games, painted pictures, and made real connections with the kids they were helping. Tyler ran around in his junior event coordinator badge, showing everyone his favorite stations and introducing them to his new dad. "That's my dad," he told everyone proudly. "He's a CEO, but he's also really good at building forts and making funny voices." Patricia Blake watched her son and his new family with immense satisfaction. Jameson looked happier than she'd ever seen him, constantly finding excuses to put his arm around Rachel or ruffle Tyler's hair. Nicole Grant had been quietly uninvited from all family events, and last anyone heard, she was dating someone in California, far from Boston. As the event wound down, Jameson found Rachel standing at the edge of the crowd, watching the happy chaos around them. "What are you thinking?" he asked, wrapping his arms around her waist. "I'm thinking that 6 months ago, I went on a blind date planning to scare away a rich CEO. How'd that work out for you?" "Terribly," Rachel grinned. "I ended up falling in love with him instead." "What a disaster." "The best disaster ever." Tyler ran up to them, tugging on Jameson's sleeve. "Dad, can we go home and build a fort before bed?" Jameson looked at Rachel, then at Tyler, then at the ring on Rachel's finger. In 2 weeks, they'd be married in a small ceremony with just family and close friends. In 1 month, the adoption papers would be finalized, making him officially Tyler's father. "You know what?" Jameson said. "That sounds perfect. Let's go home." As they walked out together, Tyler between them holding both their hands, Rachel realized that sometimes the best love stories start with the worst first dates. Sometimes the person you're meant to be with is the one you least expect. And sometimes, when you stop looking for a fairy tale and start living your real life, magic happens anyway. Tyler looked up at his parents and smiled. This is the best family ever. Neither Rachel nor Jameson could argue with that.